Hey everyone, it's Sam Mackay from Enterprise DNA. I want to go over a really interesting insight today, and it actually follows on from a video I've made prior about the Pareto rule. So if those of you who are not 100% familiar with the Pareto rule, it's another name for it is the 80-20 rule. So in theory, this isn't always the case, but in theory, most of the time your 80% of your revenue will come from 20% of your clients or from 20% of the products you sell. It's amazing how common this actually is, and you may or may not see it, and not just in business, but in just anything, right? Anything. You're always there's a much smaller subset which contributes to the greater whole, if you like. Now, I have previously made a video on the Pareto rule and how you actually calculate it in a dynamic way based on logic that you want to implement. Say, in this case, we worked out, and I'll put a link below to the video in the description. But in this case, we wanted to work out for any state that we sell to, how many sales were from the top 20% of customers, and we ran through the logic of that. But a really interesting question came from from an Enterprise DNA membership holder who, and I'll just click over to who in the support forum, which members can ask questions on, and I look to answer wherever I can. They wanted to know, well, who are these customers, right? And that wasn't something that was covered in the original video. So we wanted to work out, we wanted to showcase how many customers, or who were the customers in the top 20% and what were their sales, so we can actually see, or we can actually break them out in a visualization, because that's the key thing. Instead of showing just every single customer, we wanted to say, well, who are our top customers, but not like a static top 10. We want a dynamic 20%, and that's the interesting thing, okay? And so dynamically, based on any state that we select, we want to see within that state, well, who are the top 20% of our customers and what are their sales? Now, I've actually gone through a number of ranking examples in previous videos that you may or may not have seen, but this one's a slightly different, right? Because that was always hard-coded numbers or dynamically selected numbers. In this case, it's a totally random number because it's done on percentage, okay? Now, I want to work through the solution, and so that you can actually see how it works in practice. And I'll focus in on the key parts of the formula to know. Now, we only care about the customers that actually purchase off us in any particular time frame. Okay, so we're not looking at the entire subset of customers every single time. Dynamically, we want to be able to change the time frame and then say, okay, out of the customers who purchase in this time frame, who are the top 20% in any particular state? So we can click to a different state and we can see a different answer, because the number of some states are obviously going to be bigger and they're going to have more customers, etc. But all we care about are the customers that purchase. Out of those customers, who are the top 20%? Okay, so this is the formula to actually achieve this, okay? And the key is the context here, right? The context of this calculation is going to determine the formula that we need to write, obviously. But in this case, it's quite unique. We have to implement some quite unique things. Now, we obviously are starting with a customer context in this case, right? We are going to use a few if statements, but we're only going to focus really on the main part of this formula, okay? Because this is just a wrapper. This is just saying, well, if total sales, if this customer has not bought off us, then just don't even consider it. Just make it blank. This is where the real evaluation happens. If the current rank, so this is working out the current rank of this particular customer is less than the amount of unique customers who have purchased off us times 20%. If that rank is less than that, then return total sales. Now, I want to quickly jump to unique customers so that you can actually see what this formula is doing. All that is doing is calculating up a distinct count of the amount of a distinct count of customers, right? So if this was, say, on a monthly context, this would be working out, well, how many customers bought off us. That's basically what it's doing. The key thing to note with this formula though. This formula would evaluate in this context to 1 every single time, because what happens in here is it's evaluating, it's being filtered by this customer, right? This customer is filtering the sales table up here for itself, and so the distinct count of each individual customer would just be 1 all the way down. So unless we do this to the formula where we actually remove the context of the customer to then go and retrieve the total unique customers and times it by 0.20, this is the only way that we can get it to work. Okay, so let's just walk through this part of the logic again, because this is the key part. And we're saying, well, if the rank, and this is the ranking formula in the customer context, if all customers, so again, remove the context of customers, and then go and rank it by its sales. If the customer rank, and you'll see here that this is what this individual part of the formula is doing, if the customer rank is less than the total unique customers who purchase off us times by 20%, this part here, if it is less, then return the total sales. Okay, and again, this is a key learning here. This part of the formula is a key learning, because we want to calculate up our unique customers, but we need to remove the context of customers first to make sure that this always evaluates to this particular number here. And as we move along and change the context, then again this always changes. So in this case it's 176, so it's 176 times 20%, and then is the ranking less than that particular number. Okay, so I'm going to round things off there. Hopefully that's a good some good insight around how you actually calculate this particular result, because it's quite interesting, right? And it's not, and the key is not a hard-coded figure like a ranking number. It's not like, is it ranked less than 10? Well, it's actually, is it ranked dynamically, or is it ranked less than a dynamic number based on a percentage? So there's lots of other ways you could use it, and this number could change. It could be 30%, 50%. You could make it even dynamic with a slicer or what if parameter. So there's lots of great things and lots of great ways you could use it. Okay, hope you like this one. Hopefully you can find a way to use it. If you liked the content, got a lot out of it, learned a bit, certainly throw the video a like, really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe to Enterprise DNA TV. Lots of great content coming out on Power BI very, very soon. Okay, all the best.